Hello everyone, thank you for tuning into another Diamonds in 21 video. In this video I'm going to be showing some of the speed drawings I made for the other select prompts that I recorded from Create This Book by Mariah Elizabeth. In this video I'll be showing the growth chart and playlist spreads. These are page spreads focused more towards myself as a person. The Create a Growth Chart prompt reads, figure out a way to show some kind of growing process. So I decided to show how my hair grew over the years and the various styles that I've worn. I picked select years like baby to like 5, which is early elementary school, 9, which was elementary school, 12, which was middle school, 14 to 17 years old was high school, and then adult years like 20 to I think 23 was how old I was when I completed the prompt. Random to say, but I have to add it. For some reason, because of the length of my hair, my curl pattern, I believe I have 3B curls. Other black girls kept asking me if I was mixed when I was in school. Like, people thought that I was half indigenous or native, even though they only said Indian, which isn't what they meant. They asked if I was Brazilian, Dominican, stuff like that, which is so irritating. Like, people do not realize that black people are not a monolith. That is to say, we don't all come out as the same carbon copy with type 4 or coily hair. You see lots of different curl patterns within us. And you don't have to be mixed to have long hair or loose hair. Also, I just don't look mixed at all. Well, I don't think I do. Also, when I was first writing the script, I was going to say certain things that came up about my classmates versus my hair over my school years, but it was traumatizing. Plus, in one situation, if I imitate the way this one idiot at my school had the audacity to say that he liked my weave, which wasn't what it was, I'll get canceled. I don't have much to say for the baby years style. It had a random bow in it for one of my baby pictures. Then we get to my early elementary school years, like kindergarten to maybe a little bit of second grade. I was wearing a lot of plaits and maybe twists. But I mostly remember plaits, either with ballies and or barrettes. Very few times have I ever gotten to wear a full head of braids, like specifically to the scalp braids. For age 9, even though I was wearing a ponytail even when I was way younger, I feel like ponytails became super common for me to wear when I got to that late elementary school age. Stuff like braid outs, which I think this was actually supposed to be, is a half up, half down braid out, which would be for special occasions and events at school. At age 12 in middle school, I was wearing a lot of the same things over and over. One braid, double braids, high ponytail, low ponytail. A lot of the girls that didn't wear their natural hair were either doing box braids, they had their real hair straightened, or they were constantly wearing weave, which was popular around the time like that early to mid 2010s. There was just way too much talk about good hair and bad hair, unfortunately. And also, unfortunately, I just said what some idiot said about me having a weave, which I never once had. Plus, that kid didn't even know me. Only once, coincidentally still in middle school, have I ever had extensions in my hair. And that was for a spirit day type joint we had outside. Only kids who made honor roll could go to it, but it was so lackluster. I mean, like, being outside was better than being inside doing work, but still. I don't know why I bothered asking my mom to add some yellow and blue extensions to my double braids. Like, I already hated being there. Why did I wasn't supposed to go into details. Another thing to add is that the extensions weren't even my hair texture. They were straightened, which made it more complicated for my mom to braid them in my hair. Then at age 14, beginning of high school, there were times where my hair was worn without a style, just loose, which is what I should have done more often as a kid. But of course, maintenance is one issue. But also, I know when I was younger, I had an issue with my hair always looking like a pyramid once it shrunk up after a wash. The pyramid look is gorgeous on others, but I didn't like it on myself. My graduation picture taken at the end of my junior year grew on me, though. This was after, I guess it's considered a braid out, even though they weren't really braided on my scalp, but we don't say the term plait out for some reason. In high school, because we didn't have to wear uniforms, I was wearing hats to class, like snapbacks, fitted caps, even turbans and wraps I was able to get into. And besides my usual ponytails and double braids, I would ask for half up, half down. I got into wearing double buns a little bit, and only got to wear cornrows maybe like once or twice in high school, but I'll get to that then. Then during my senior year of high school, for my 17th birthday, I finally got my hair locked. This means that I have now been growing my locks for almost 8 years now. Once I turn 25 this October, my locks will turn 8. That's insane. We've been experimenting a little bit on my locks. On my own, I can 2-strand twist them. I've done 3-strand plaits on them before, and the results of taking them out leaves my locks crinkly to change the texture of some. With assistance, I've beaded my locks before, but I don't have any pictures. I've asked if my loctician could cornrow my locks back, even though they didn't stay in place for too long. I don't know if mine are too thick, and then whenever I try to do them myself, it never works. I've never been good at hairstyling, braiding, etc. And mine always stick out to the sides. And I was about to say, in the script, it looks like I was about to write that I look like a black Pippi Longstocking, but I feel like that's a stretch. That's random, but I never got into Pippi. The animated one came on Cubo a long time ago, but I was never interested. And then another style, my sister helped out with a flexi rod set for me. Recently, my mom and my loctician surprised me, and I got pipe cleaner curls. It was a painful process, and my neck was so done. I just don't have patience to sit in a chair and get certain things done in my hair anymore. I did get to wear the pipe cleaner curls to a due day last month, though, but this is why I gotta be prepared for that type of thing. Seeing a loctician for the first time was also the first time I had any salon experience of my own, and the very first time I had to see her was when I got my ends clipped when my hair was still loose. I had to wait in the Dominican salons before when I was way younger, waiting on my sister and possibly my mom getting perms or something, but it wasn't for me per se. It might have just been my sister. I have no idea. I didn't get to have any early salon experiences as a kid, like actually sitting in a chair. Because my mom wanted to find somebody that knew how to work with my texture. I guess most other clients in those type of braid shops had type 4 hair for the most part, or they only knew what to do with that type of hair. My hair was looser, thinner, and I guess more susceptible to damage and fallout. I don't know. This is at least what I figured. I wish I was able to style my own hair, but alas, my mom did my hair my whole childhood, and I was told that if I had been around my nanny, that's my mom's mom, a little more, I would have been able to get my hair braided by her. So I could have gotten to wear cornrows like I really wish I could have. Cornrows are one of my favorite natural styles, obviously, besides locks. I love big afros too, but I'm glad I never had an afro. If I thought other black girls really couldn't stop asking to touch my hair before the locks, if I had an afro back in the day, they really wouldn't stop trying to reach out and touch it. Plus, I just don't have to look for an afro, but afros are beautiful. And yes, I had other black girls asking to touch my hair or just like asking questions about my hair over and over instead of the stereotypical white girl being the one to touching and asking, "Oh my God, do you wash it?" And here is a zoom out of the entire prompt right here for the growth chart. The next prompt is to create a playlist, which I was so excited for. The prompt reads, think of songs that are special to you and write down a few song titles and what they mean to you. I didn't even need to make a new playlist for this prompt because I had one already set up. When I was around 5 years old, my mom made actually probably a few playlists and burnt them into CDs for me. Now, I don't remember what was on the other CDs. I know Beyonce's Me, Myself, and I was on one, and I'm not even a fan of Beyonce like at all. There's some old songs I'll listen to if I'm in the mood. Black Butterfly and Silly by Denise Williams were songs on either that same CD or another CD that I had. And I remember a lot of Disney Channel songs were on other playlists later on, but this select one is from when I was 5 or maybe 6 specifically. It's called Ladies Mix. Lady or Ladybug is my nickname for my mom. And the pictures were from the one time we had a photo shoot at like Target back in 2007. I miss going to Target, but I haven't stepped foot inside ever since they signed their name on the dotted lines. At that age, I mainly loved neo soul and old R&B, which of course are still my favorite genres now. Are still my favorites now, but at the time, two of my favorite artists were Alicia Keys and Mary J. Blige. And I put in the script still to this day the two have never collabed, which I'm kind of surprised that they haven't, like alone. Now, recently I switched out a few songs I used to have on the CD. I won't go into full details about all of them, but one song, which was Not Gonna Cry by Mary J. Blige, even besides the whole thing about me being far too young to relate to what she was singing about, but because I'm embarrassed by how I used to screw up all the words when I tried singing along. It was like, I think the word is mondegreen when you think the words go one way, but then you realize later, no, this is what the lyrics are. I don't even want to say what I thought that she said for some of the words because, again, I was a kid. It was so embarrassing. Honestly, I had the same mondegreen type moments with some songs that I kept on a playlist, but oh well. I also just decided to switch up the order of the songs just in a way where I thought it would be good to open with, what to end with, that type of deal. The final order is No Happy Holidays from Mary J. Blige. Kind of surprised I kept that one in. Unbreakable from Alicia Keys. If I Ain't Got You from Alicia Keys. No One from Alicia. Fallen from Alicia. And that's the full version of the song with the whole ending, not the way it gets cut off when it comes on TV or radio. A Woman's Worth, also by Alicia Keys. Deep Inside by Mary J. Blige, Take Me As I Am, which I think actually used to be my top favorite Mary J. Blige song, Share My World, which is probably placed higher up as like my top favorite Mary J. Blige song now, 7 Days by Mary J. Blige, You Don't Know My Name, which might have been my favorite Alicia Keys song at one point as a kid, and finally Stay Down for Mary J. Blige. I decided to draw quick little portraits of the two of them. Alicia Keys from her Fallen video, and she's probably another reason why I wanted to wear braids more often. And Mary J. Blige, and just one of the looks from her Stay Down video. I'll link both of the music videos in the comments, or not the comments, the description. Adding some more dialogue in at the last second because there's just far too much empty space where I'm not talking at all. Recently, I created a Ladies Mix Part 2, still with all Alicia Keys and Mary J. Blige songs. It includes All That I Could Say from Mary J. Blige, Karma from Alicia Keys. I remember that video getting played a lot as a kid. I Am from Mary J. Blige. Ooh, yes, that's the name of the song, by Mary J. Blige. Right Now from Mary J. Blige. Man, that takes me back to when that song was first released and how much playtime I got. So Simple from Alicia Keys. If You Love Me from Mary J. Blige. No More Drama by Mary J. Blige. Like the Sea by Alicia Keys. I Need You, which is probably one of my top favorites from Alicia Keys. Where Do We Go From Here from Alicia. I used to really love this one as a kid. Round and Round, another top favorite and classic Mary track. Unthinkable, I'm Ready from Alicia. That's How Strong My Love Is from Alicia Keys. Tell You Something, Nana's Reprise, another one of my top favorite tracks from Alicia Keys. And it closes off with No One Will Do by Mary J. Blige. I have to work on making more ladies mix playlists, especially based off of childhood favorite songs. Like not even just from this neo soul artist of the time that I really loved. Like some examples being people like India Arie, Music Soul Child, Kendrick the Family Soul, and Anthony Hamilton. By the way, Can't Let Go by Anthony Hamilton was my song when I was real little. I don't know what it was about that song. Crazy enough, I found out that that song was released October 17th, 2005. That was 4 days before my 4th birthday. For it to have been a new release at the time, that must be why I heard it so many times and loved it so much. But I would include even older stuff like the Denise Williams songs I mentioned earlier on, and even the Isley Brothers. Footsteps in the Dark used to come on the Quiet Storm segment of WDAS FM a lot back in the days. I remember I listened to it not too long ago and I was just crying at the lyrics. It doesn't matter if that song was far before my time, that type of music just puts you somewhere. Speaking of Quiet Storm, that old intro song just brings back so much from when I was a kid, especially when we be driving late at night. I'll put a link to the Quiet Storm song I'm talking about for those who either don't know what I'm talking about or possibly those who do and want to listen again. Those are the page spreads I wanted to show you all for this video, and I want to thank you so much for watching if you made it to the end. Take care.